Hi guys! So today we're going to talk about PHP Form Handling. Okay, so in this part of our series, we're going to learn how to handle form data or user input, then make a process after the form was submitted. Okay, so those are the things that we're going to talk about today. Okay, so PHP Form Handling. When we develop a website or a web application, we often have to create forms to take input from users, like a login form or a registration form. Creating a form on a web page is accomplished using HTML, while PHP will be the one who will handle those submitted form data for further processing, like form validation, data sanitization, and saving it to the database. Okay? Okay, so two ways to handle form in PHP. We have get and post. Both get and post create an array. So we have here yung example given natin. So basically, it is just like associative array. Okay? This array holds key value pairs where keys are the names of the form controls and the values are the input data from the user. Both get and post are treated as $_get and $_post. These are super globals, which means that they are always accessible regardless of the scope. And you can access them from any function, class, or file. Okay, so $_get is an array of variables passed to the current script via the URL parameters, while $_post is an array of variable passed to the current script via the HTTP post method. Okay? Okay, so when do we use get? We use get if we intend to send and process non-sensitive data, like the data coming from a search form. Information sent from a form with a get method is visible to everyone. All variable names and values are displayed in the URL. So, kagaya nito. So, if the form was submitted, makikita natin yung data dito. Okay? So, get also has a limit on the amount of information to send. The limitation is about 2,000 characters. Note, get should never be used for sending passwords or other sensitive information. Okay? Okay, so how do we set get method in a form? So we have here yung sample form natin. Then we have here yung sample code naman natin. Okay, the only thing we need to do to set up the get method in a form is to set the value of the attribute method to get. Okay? So let me explain to you guys ano yung mga attribute natin sa form. We have yung action at saka we have yung method. So yung action, in this particular attribute, we specify here the file name or the URL that points to the file. So yung mangyari, once the form is submitted, it will send to that particular file yung mga form data. And that's the file that will manage yung mga user input na sinubmit natin. Okay? Then yung method naman here we specify yung get or yung method na gagamitin, which is yung get method. Okay? So that's how we set up the get method sa isang form. Okay, guys? Okay, so other ways to set up or to implement get method via URL. So we have this one naman. As you can see here in our example, we have here yung name at saka age. So this is what we call the URL parameters. Okay? So paano natin sinaset up or ina-implement yung get method? First things that we should do is we use the question mark to indicate that we are implementing a get method via URL parameters, which is this one. Okay? Then we specify basically or we set the key value pairs. Kagaya nito, yung name equals Raymond dito. Okay? So the next thing, if there are many parameters that you want to set, then we use ampersand as the separator. So magiging ganito na. Name equals Raymond, then ampersand, age equals 22. So the key value. Okay? So that's how we implement get method via URL parameters. Okay, guys? Okay, so how do we handle the get data? Okay, so to handle the get data, we're going to use the PHP $_get superglobal variable. Okay, example, kagaya nito. Since that variable is an array, and just like an associative array, then we can access it through having a square bracket, then the index. Okay, so we have here yung index ng name at saka yung age. So, saan naman natin mahanap itong mga name at age na index? So, basically, we can check it out on our form controls or yung mga input. So, here, yung name equals to name. Then, dito naman yung name equals to age. So, those are the index pagdating sa mga get array. Okay? So, other than that, we can also get this index through the URL parameters. We have here yung name and also the age. Okay? Then, once it is processed to our file, then this will be our output. As you can notice here in the URL, naka-display yung mga data natin. Okay, guys? So, that's how we handle yung mga get data once the form is submitted or through the URL parameters. Okay? Okay, next is, when do we use post? We use post if we intend to send and process sensitive data, like the data coming from a login form or registration form. Information sent from a form with the post method is invisible to others. All names or values are embedded within the body of HTTP requests and has no limits on the amount of information to send. Post supports advanced functionality such as support for multi-part binary input while uploading files to server. And developers prefer post for sending form data. Okay? Okay, so how do we set post method in a form? So if we have the sample form, then we have here yung sample code natin. The only thing that we're going to do is to set the method attribute equals to post. Okay, so that's how simply we set up yung post method sa isang form. Okay, guys? Okay, so how do we handle the post data? Okay, so we're going to use the $_post. Okay? We have here yung sample natin. Kagaya ng get method, we need to specify yung $_post, then yung square bracket, and the index, since it is also an array. Okay? So, saan naman natin makikita itong mga index? Basically, since we are using post, only in the part of the form. Yung form control names. Okay, so we have here yung name at saka yung age. Okay, so since we're not using get, hindi siya available sa URL parameter. Okay, only sa form na part. Okay, then once the form has been submitted, then this will be the output. As you can notice sa URL natin, hindi nagdi-display yung mga URL parameters. Okay guys, so that's the difference between the get and post on how we try to handle yung mga data nila. Okay? Okay, so can we submit the form in the same page? Okay, so the answer for that is yes. If we have the sample form and we have here yung sample code natin, there are two ways kung paano natin isa-set up. Okay, so we can set here yung current file, which is kagaya nito, we have here yung index.php. Then we can set here yung index.php. Okay, so that it will submit to the same page. Or we can just leave it blank. Okay? Okay, note pa lang pala guys. Pagdating sa mga value nilalagay natin dito, especially yung mga file name or URL, we need to make sure that it is already validated. Okay? Kasi to avoid or prevent some cross-site scripting attacks. Okay? So, it is part of the form validation na kung saan in creating any kind of forms, we need to make sure na meron tayong mga form validation na gagawin. Okay? For this particular part of our series, we're not going to discuss that one kasi we currently focus on knowing kung paano ba natin i-handle yung mga form data. Okay, guys? So, okay. If we have this form, we try to fill out this form. Once it is submitted, we are expecting that it has an output here at the bottom. Okay? So, paano natin gagawin yan? The only thing that we should do is something like this. We need to have an if statement here. Then, dito na yung sample code natin for displaying our data. Okay? So, I used here yung built-in function ng PHP, which is set. Then, I try to check if this particular post data has been defined or existing na ba siya. Kasi yung data na to is coming from the form. Okay? So, if this is not yet set, then the form is not yet submitted. So, let me have yung quick discussion muna pagdating dito sa set. So, we have here yung definition and usage. The set function checks whether the variable is set, which means that it has to be declared and is not null. This function returns true if the variable exists and is not null. Otherwise, it returns false. Okay? Note, if multiple variables are supplied, then the function will return true only if all the variables are set. Okay? So in this case, if this is already set, therefore it will return true and this condition, this part, will be satisfied. If ever na-submit natin yung form. Pero kung hindi pa nasasubmit, this will become false and it will not execute this code. Pero kung nasubmit na, this condition will be satisfied and execute our code here. Okay? So if we have the form and we try to fill it out, once we submit the form, we're expecting to have an output like this. Okay? So that's how we manage yung pag-submit ng form in the same page and handle those data to be displayed at any part of our page, just like this one, at the bottom part of our form. Okay? So that's how we manage yung submitting a form in the same page. Okay? Okay, so how to redirect to the other page after the successful process. So basically, yung tanong dito, kailan ba natin magamit yung ganon? If you're creating a registration form or di kaya login form, let's say yung login form, once the user has been successfully logged in, basically, you will redirect that account to the welcome page. Okay? So that's where we use redirection. So yung tanong ngayon, paano? So this is how we set up or yung syntax natin pagdating sa redirection. We're going to use the header function, then having a value of string, location, colon, then URL. So we have here yung sample natin having the full URL, or we can also have yung directory path of the URL or yung location ng page. Okay? So we can do that. So we can also implement yung get method pagdating sa redirection. Something like this. We just need to specify question mark, then the key and value. So in this case, we have the process equals successful. Okay, so you can also redirect it back to the login page. Example, hindi na-satisfy yung username at password na inilagay niya. So you can redirect it to the same page and display some message na unsuccessful login, please check your username and password, mga ganon. So that's how we manage yung redirection once the form is already submitted, regardless if it is successful or not. Okay, guys? Okay, so quick activity muna tayo guys. So this activity is a combination of the activity of PHP conditional statements. Write a PHP program that would ask the user to enter some data like name, age, and gender. For the gender, use drop-down list where the user can select whether male or female. Then lastly, display a specific text depending on its gender and age. So we are going to base in here, if it is male, dito yung babasehan natin mga text. Then kung female, dito naman. Okay, so pagdating naman sa age, if it is, yung age ng user is 1 to 12 yung inilagay niya, then male siya, then ito yung babasehan natin. Kung female, dito naman. Then kung 13 yung age niya to 19, dito naman siya magbabase ng mga text na i-display. Then if it is 20 to 59, dito naman. And if it is 60 and above, then ito naman yung di-display niyang mga specific text. Okay? So, we have here yung sample natin. Yung form for our activity, name, age, at saka yung gender. So, once we try to fill it out and submit the form, then this will be the output. Okay? So, regardless if you're using get or post, the important thing is we satisfied the output and yung mga form na gagawin natin. Okay? Okay guys, I want you to pause lang muna yung video natin so that you can work on the activity that we have today. Then afterwards nun, once you're already done, you can play it back and let me share to you naman kung paano ko gagawin yung activity natin. Okay? Okay, so let me try now kung paano ko naman gagawin yung activity natin. So first is I need to open yung Apache server. Okay. Okay, let me close this one. Then gawa ko ng folder sa htdocs. Then let me create new folder. Project. Okay. Then open yung folder. Some htdocs project. Okay. Okay, so let me create new file. Save ko as index.php. So let me try to zoom this one para kahit paano lumaki. Klaro. Then sabihin natin learning form handling. Okay, then let me copy this one. Save. Okay, let me try to access the code or my website. Then project. Zoom ko lang. Okay. Now, the first thing na gagawin ko is to create the form. So, form. Okay, so meron tayong action. Okay. Then, submit form. So, you can have yung file name whatever you want. Then, yung method, yung gagamitin ko is post. Okay. So, sa loob ng form, maglalagay ako ng paragraph for my input. Yung iba naman, ginagamit nila is label. Then, mag-BBR ako. Then, yung input. Yan. So, this is text. Then, yung name, sabihin natin name. Then, another input will be yung age. Okay. Then, another one is yung did I copy? Ayun. Okay, then gender. So in this part, I'm going to use yung select input, select tag, okay, then option. So yung label is male. Then of course the value here should be male. Then the other option will be female. Okay. Okay. Then I'm going to place a name first para mag-grab ko yung data. Sabihin kong gender. Then last one is to place yung button. Yung submit type. Then yung name, sabihin natin submit din. Then yung value that will serve as the label of the button is also submit. So you can place naman yung value as save. So it's up to you lang. Okay, save muna natin and refresh. Yan, so we already have the form. Okay, so next is we're going to manage yung submit form file. So let me create that one. Save ko as submit form.php. Then dito ko i-manipulate yung output natin. So gawa lang ako ng HTML file, yung code natin. So let me just try to copy this. I think this all na lang. Then remove this part. Save. Okay. So once the form has been submitted, dito ko i-manipulate yung mga data natin. So basically, yung mga data natin will be the name, then post, name, then the other one will be age, then yung gender. Okay? Then dito na tayo maglalagay ng mga yung conditional statement natin. So if gender is equals to male. So paano natin masisigurado na this value is the same dito? We can check this value. Kung ano nang dito na value sa ating drop-down list, that should be placed here as well. Yun ang ating i-compare. So if it is male, then ipaprocess natin yung male na mga output for them. Then kung hindi, then dito naman tayo. Okay? Okay, sa loob, here we're going to compare yung age naman. If the age is greater than or equal to 1 and age is less than or equal to 12, else if, let me just copy this code, age is done or equal 13, thus dito naman is 19. And then else if na naman for the 20, then less than or equal to 59. Then the else part here, so wala na to. So dito na yung 60 and above. Okay? So dito i-display natin kung yung mga statement nila. Sabihin natin, ilagay natin sa isang paragraph tag. Then sasabihin natin you are still a little boy. Okay, so let me copy this code. Dito naman is you are already a teenager. Okay? Then dito naman is you are a gentleman. Then the last one is you are already an old man. Okay. Now let me try to copy this code and place it here. Then we're just going to change that with girl, teenager pa rin. Then this will be lady. Then the other one will also be lady, old lady. Okay. So, yung pangalan naman, basically, we need also to display yung dito. So, pwede natin ilagay dito. Sabihin natin, hello. I'm going to use double quote para ma-parse yung variable. Then yung name. Okay? Yan. Okay, so let me try to run this one. If mayroong error, wala. Okay? So, lagay ako ng pangalan, sabihin natin Raymond Dilo. Then, 22, mail, submit. Okay. Hello, Raymond Dilo, you are a gentleman. Okay. Then, test naman natin yung iba. What if, lagyan natin ng age of 2, submit, little boy. Okay, so, change naman natin yung age. Sabihin natin 15, submit. Okay, you are already a teenager. Back natin. I think 25. You are a gentleman. Okay, good. What if 65? You are already an old man. Okay, so what if we change this to other name? Then, sabihin natin 4 years old. Then, female siya. Submit. You are still a little girl. Okay. What if it is already 17 years old? Yung age niya. Teenager, okay? Then, kung 30, lady na. Then, kung 60, you are already an old lady, okay? So, our process of our code, basically, from this part of the code, then it works well naman, okay? Okay, so that's how we manage yung mga form data, guys. Managing yung post, so di kaya get. Then, combining it with other part of the code, kagaya ng if statement. We can also join them with the looping statement, mga ganun. Okay, so I think that's it, guys. I hope you learned something new today regarding our topic, especially in managing the form data. Okay, so hindi naman siya ganun kahirap. All you need to do is to practice, practice, and practice. Okay, so just like I always say naman, just keep practicing and never stop learning. Thank you for watching, guys, and goodbye for now.